All right, what's next?
So last week's lesson. This is
Yeah,
what you wrote. It's called "Slow Down to Speed Up and Ask a Better Question." Um, what was the question you were responding to? Sounds like a common one.
it was actually a complaint that came from our Slack channel.
Oh, okay.
Um, we have a Slack for all of our teachers, and we talk about our class sessions and we ask each other for help. And it's just awesome. I mean, like everybody's getting better and better at teaching the LSAT, including me,
Hmm.
because of this conversation that we have in the back end.
Yeah.
But um, people were complaining about, like, I've got this student who won't stop asking me, how can I improve at speed?
Yeah.
And I tell them, well, you need to stop making so many mistakes. And they say, yeah, but how can I get faster?
yeah,
And I say,
yeah, I got that. I'm getting them mostly correct, which could just be half.
51%, which is not
Yeah.
good. Yeah. And then I tell them again, like, hey, you really need to focus on accuracy. If you get them right, if you learn that you can get them all right, then
Hmm.
eventually your speed will slowly pick up. And
Yeah.
then they come back with, like, yeah, but how can I finish the section?
Hmm.
And I wrote, it's a little bit of like it was almost like, catharsis for somebody who's been teaching LSAT since 2007.
Yeah.
15 years of LSAT teaching will do a number on you when you get that same, because you get that same damn question.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt Matt then chimed in with, like, yep, every class every day. What he said was every class every day from every student. And I think he was being, hyperbolistic there, but
Hmm.
the the point is clear. Like, as LSAT teachers, we get the question, how do I go faster, every damn day. And the answer at lsatdemon.com never changes, which is your problem is not speed.
Matt was being hyperbolistic, I'm sure, but he actually could be right. Because even though
Yeah,
no one's asking it or not everyone's asking it, I
they're
imagine
all thinking
everyone
it.
has thought it at
Yeah,
some point. How do you not, right? Unless you're
yeah,
like scoring 170 out of the gate and you just don't have a problem with finishing.
it's human nature. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you can read the whole column. I don't want to spend forever on it, but it is so rare. I can think of like one or two students ever who drank the Kool-Aid fully to where they actually started getting 100% accuracy on, I remember, logical reasoning. Actually, you know what? It was Shay. Remember Shay? It was
Hmm.
Shay doing it as when she was my student on logical reasoning.
Hmm.
And she had, like, started getting 18 out of 18 correct.
Hmm.
From there, Shay quickly improved to where she actually was able to finish or come close to finishing the sections,
Yeah.
because she had finally realized that the questions do make sense, that your job is to make sense of them. Your job is to solve the questions and pick an answer that's going to get you a point instead of picking a wrong answer that's going to get you zero.
Yeah.
And when you do that, when you slow way down and realize that, yep, these are going to make perfect sense, I'm going to expect them to make sense. I'm going to expect the wrong answers not to make sense. I'm going to
Yeah.
expect the one correct answer to be the only one, and it's going to clearly answer the question. Stop this rush through and narrow it down to two or three answers and then compare the answer choices to each other. Like, that's not how it's done. If you're going to, like, really, you know, if you're going to really beat the LSAT, you're going to do it by predicting the answers, slowing down. Wrong answers start to look like trash. You just never make mistakes anymore. You get them all right. And once you can get them all right, I'm talking about 10 in a row at the beginning of each section or 15 in a row at the beginning of each section.
Yeah.
When you can do that, then you're going to find that your speed problems go away.
Mm.
But your speed problem went away because you stopped trying to go fast.
Yeah.
I've called this before the fundamental paradox of the LSAT, that you have to slow down to speed up. You slow down, the test gets easier, then you don't have a problem with speed anymore. Flip
It's
side,
wait, what?
flip of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you wanted to fuck somebody up, like let's say somebody was scoring 155 and you wanted to ruin their game entirely,
Yeah, tell them to go faster.
tell them to finish every section.
Yeah, why aren't you finishing? Hurry up.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? You're leaving points on there. What? There's questions that you're not even answering.
It's
You
got to be
know,
better to at least try them.
you're not even going to try. That's a fail. Right. And so then now that same student who was able to like, sort them out, a lot of them, but then run out of time and get a 155, that's actually a really pretty strong performance. And now instead, they skim through, they rush through. And when that happens, the questions get way, way harder because you're not seeing the shortcuts, and the wrong answers start to look attractive because you don't really know what they mean. You don't really know what you're looking for. And then the paradox kicks in, which is it actually makes you slower. I mean, either you skim the surface and just miss them all.
Yep.
Or if you try that, well, I'm going to get it right, but I'm going to get it right really fast.
Yeah.
Like that dumb tip of do the first 10 in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know how people try to do that sometimes? That's a turd.
Yeah. Yeah.
People who try to do that, it's like all of a sudden those first 10, which used to be easy for you, well, now they're hard.
Now they're hard. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. You call it a paradox. You said it's the fundamental paradox of the LSAT.
It's maybe a little grandiose, but
Sure. No, I mean, it's a core issue, right?
yeah.
And the thing is it's true in other domains. So, if anyone's like, it's like, think about this for a second. Those military folks, right, who kick ass in situations I would utterly fail in, go by the mantra, slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Yep.
You don't want to be like fumbling around with your gun. You want to aim and shoot and hit the first time.
It applies to the golf swing.
Yeah.
I'm plenty long. I'm not strong. Like I suck at disc golf because I'm not really strong enough to like physically, force anything.
Yeah.
And but in golf, it's like, well, that club face is explosive. The ball's explosive and the club face is explosive. And what it really is about is just like making good contact. It's not, and the club head is a few feet away from the center of your swing. And so there's like an arc effect, and it's like, it's a whip, right?
Yeah.
And I swing like half as fast as my buddies do in some cases, but I end up hitting it just as far as they do because I just like made good contact and I let the club do the work, and it's slow is smooth, and smooth turns out to be plenty fast.
Besides, if you go straight, right? Like even if like you go far, but you're hooking, right? Then you have another problem. You have to get back to center and all that stuff.
What other domains does this apply to? I mean, distance running for sure. People have to pace themselves.
They have to pace themselves. Absolutely. Here's another one. Think about, and this may be more related, but problem solving in general, right? A lot of people, you can just think about even just like getting an email that imposes a decent challenge. It's so tempting to fire back a response like, oh, what about this? Or do this or whatever. And in some cases, that's fine. But in a lot of cases, it may be better just to think through this for a half second. And sometimes the decision is, we're not going to do anything here, right? Like it's that slow, okay, let me process this. Let me make a good decision. And then that's going to save us a ton of time down the road, as opposed to a bunch of back and forth that are basically passing the ball around.
Yeah. That happens like every time I look at my email these days. It's like something happened. I look at the email, I write a real long response to it. Then I edit it down to a shorter response. Then I edit it down to a shorter response. And ultimately, I just delete the draft and don't send anything at all, because it's like, boy, whatever I do here is just going to cause more problems, and
Yeah.
it's going to resolve itself. And in retro, like after thinking through it fully,
Yeah.
no response is a valid option.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like after I've thought about it for a minute, it's like, yeah, this is the smoother, ultimately faster response. It took me a while to get there,
Yeah.
but it's like the effort, ultimately it's like, yeah, okay, I'm going to let this one slide because the answer is clear. It's going to resolve itself and I don't have to do anything. Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah. My weekly newsletter, I really enjoy writing them. You can sign up for it at lsatdemon.com/demon. There's a sign up for that weekly email newsletter. We've been sending those out on Thursdays. So one more of our free resources at lsatdemon.com.